Welcome everyone. My name is Cindi. I am at Simply Cindi. So then we go to July 2nd, and by that time we have Pluto, we have Saturn, we have Neptune. So we're looking at our belief system, not the one that we were told to, not the one that, we didn't want to upset anybody about, not the one that we knew as a child, because a lot of us, what we believed as a child, we don't believe anymore. We've grown from that. We've seen better. We've done different, right? So what is it that we believe, right? That's what we're working on now with this retrograde. And we'll be working on it for a while. So as things come to us, we're like, well, I used to believe that, like, I'll give you an example since we're talking about political stuff. Back in the day, decades and decades ago, I was a military wife. I believe in America. I believe in the military. I believe, I was that. My belief system has changed. It's changed. I've had a lot of loss, uh, through the military, through the government. I don't believe what I used to believe, right? So same thing with you guys. You may not believe what you used to believe. And that's what Saturn was saying. Be kind to yourself. It's okay because it's not just this reality. You have belief systems from different places that you've been, different incarnations that you've been, from your whole self, your higher self. That makes sense? And take it all in and know that whatever you believe is your unique mark, and it's okay because we're moving into a space in the next 20 years where we don't have to hide any of that. That makes sense? Okay. So the more material stuff about this, and not just the spiritual, energetic, psychological stuff about this, the more material stuff about this is when Neptune goes retrograde and Saturn goes retrograde in Pisces, they're asking you to, when I look at this, I look at Pisces and then I look at the opposite at Virgo, right? Saturn is saying, if you're responsible and you show me some action, which is the language to tell me what you want, but I'm asking you to know what you believe first, the action is Virgo, right? It would be like, organize it, conceptualize it, write it down, take an action. That's a Virgo thing, right? Plan it out. That's all Virgo. That's how you can see it's a clue. It's the opposite. If you do Virgo stuff in your belief system, in your beliefs, in your dreams, Neptune, and what you want to be responsible for, Saturn, within time, if you take some planning and some action and some organization, then I, with Neptune, will materialize your dreams. But what are your dreams? Are your dreams, because what y'all been dreaming is what you've been told to dream. I want the house. I want the marriage. I want the school. I want the car. I want the blah, blah. Is that what you really want? Or is that what you think you want or think you need because of the way society is? That's what I'm getting to. That's what Saturn is saying. He's giving us the chance with Neptune to really think about what our dreams are, what we want to manifest. And then once you understand that, for yourself and believe that, I told you, bear with me, would come together. Virgo it out. Plan it, write it, take an action, go take the first steps of it, and it will open up. But again, he will test you. He's going to test you. So he is going to say, do you really believe that? Or is that what you were told to believe? Or is that what you believe because that's what you think is going to keep you safe and secure, right? Or do you really believe that? Right? So that's what's going on there. He's just asking you to take some action, do some things. That's what he and Neptune are asking you. Exactly. This Virgo can do that. So here's the thing. as a Virgo, you can absolutely Virgo it out, right? What you're going to have problem with is being truthful about what your dream is, right? Because you can Virgo it out and you can even work well with Saturn, but what are your real dreams? That makes sense? Okay. And then we move into the famous right now. So we had all those planets retrograde, and then we move into the 15th, 16th, 17th, right here. This Mars Uranus, right? Uranus in Taurus, I told y'all probably a year ago. Uranus in Taurus is going to cause a whole bunch of earthquakes, hurricanes, stuff with the weather, but stuff having to do eruptions. Like that's Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is grounding, Taurus is earth, Taurus is food, Taurus is the ground, Taurus is the dirt, right? I said with Uranus in there, it's going to make things unstable. That means because Taurus is the second house, rules the second house, that's his house, our resources are becoming unstable. And I'd said somewhere along the way, he won't start disrupting until after the 23rd degree or 22nd degree. It's usually when they start the BS from my point of view. So once Uranus, who loves rebellion, who is changes crap on a dime, because you guys know my chart is ruled by Uranus, so it can change quick, right? It disrupts, it rebels, it wants you, and it does this because it wants you to have freedom, because that's what you've been asking for, right? So it wants you to have freedom. When Mars went in there, we all knew, because the star Algol was there as well, right? And so if you put that space on the chart of Donald Trump and on the chart of Joe Biden, Donald Trump, we knew it had something, because Mars is sharp weapons, cutting, right? That's Mars, and it's aggressive, right? And Uranus is like, let's shake. I hate to curse, but let's shake shit up so that we can be free of this bullshit, right? That's basically what he's saying. And then the star Algol has to do with heads of state being cut off, right? Like Medusa. Okay, so we knew astrologers. I couldn't get on to tell you guys, but we knew a lot of astrologers that were looking at this stuff. That something was going to happen. We also knew, and I said this right before this happened to Joe Biden, that his because it was in the sixth house. That's your health and your well-being. That's your body, right? That's not your body as in the first house, but it's your health and well-being, your daily routine. Something was getting cut. Something was going to be changing. Something, right? And it just so happens that he took himself out of the race, and he got COVID, right? So we can kind of see all this stuff. I don't think it's finished. I think when I look at Donald Trump's chart and what's going on, I'll give you another prediction. I feel like something else happens to him. I feel like something else is going to happen to him. I feel like we're not done with Joe Biden either. So, yeah, I kind of feel like something's going to come out with Joe Biden and his like he's just not doing well. He's just not. I don't care whether they tell us that or not. I can feel he's not doing well. So that's my prediction for them. I feel like there's either another attempt on. I can tell I've grown because I'm actually telling you guys. I'm sorry. That's why I was pausing, because I was like, oh, I'm actually telling you this. So I feel like there may be another attempt on Donald Trump. Am I 100% right all the time? No. But when I go in there and I look, and then I see in the chart, like it's right there. You can see it. Not anything that's hidden. It's right there. So, yeah. But anyway, as this this conjuncted, which means as this went conjunct, as these two went conjunct, we knew there was going to be some disruption on a societal level. Why on a societal level? Because we are in Aquarius energy, Pluto. Pluto's our, see, remember about what, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when I was saying, as we move through this North Node, as these planets had come by and talked to Pluto, they were talking about stuff, right? And so every time they aspect Pluto, there's still that ongoing conversation. Remember, so basically Pluto is like, remember what we said for the good of humanity. Why? Because we're in Aquarius energy. For the good of humanity, for the space that we're going to, I need you. He's basically told Uranus, remember that conversation we had? I need you to show out. And Mars, I need you to do your thing. Because we got to get you societally on the track that they want to be. We got to get them to the space that they're trying to go. So for that to happen, I need you guys to do your thing. Does that make sense? For those of you that have never seen me, again, my name is Cindi. I'm at Simply Cindi. I am a medium. I love astrology. I have other tools. I do tarot and hypnosis and mediumship and other things. It's so much I don't even say. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I am going over what has happened, recapping what's happened, and then we're about to go into what happened yesterday, and then we're going to move on to the end of the month, and it's not going to stop. We have August and September. Yeah, it's not going to stop. Next month is pretty wild, pretty revealing, and pretty messy. We'll just say that. Okay. So then we move into July 16th. It was 15th, 16th, 17th, right? And there is some things, that's my prediction. My prediction is there's going to be another attempt on Trump. And there's something that's going to be revealed about Biden. Okay. And it has to do with him, his body. And honestly, well, I won't go into that right now. Anyway, so then we go up to the 22nd, which is Leo season, right? So the 22nd, it's Leo season, right? So there's Leo season right here. The sun moves into Leo, which was opposing Pluto, right? And so something personally, I'm talking to you guys personally, look in your chart. Where is Aquarius? Where is Leo? Something was being revealed. How do I say this? Something was being revealed to you, and still is being revealed to you, that may make you feel vulnerable, that may make you feel like, yeah, almost naked, right? It got you to see a part. Pluto got your sun, your ego, to see a part of you. And it could be that you never get represented for the things that you do. And now all of a sudden you're in the limelight and you're like, well, I'm not used to that. I don't really like it, right? Or it could be that you are a lot in the limelight and you see that you're leaning too much into that, right? It kind of depends. But as Leo season has come in, there's something or some way, because in the house of Leo, you have Mercury and you have Venus, right? And so it's a loose conjunction here. I like my conjuncts at the most 3 degrees, but there may be something in the way that you've had relationships or had things that you wanted, because it's Venus, right? But Pluto was aspecting and is revealing something about yourself that you may feel embarrassed about, that you may feel vulnerable about. Um, and I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but that's what was happening on the 22nd. Again, we have Neptune retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Pluto retrograde, and we're about to now so on the 27th, 26th yesterday. So 26. So yesterday Chiron went retrograde, right? And Chiron kind of did the same thing that the Sun and Pluto. See how they're still aspecting? They're still going opposite. What do I want versus what am I leaning too much on? What am I not seeing? Because Leo is a self, right? Where Leo is about independence and about the single, where Aquarius is about the group, right? And so there was something about what you want versus what they want, or the way that you do it versus including them, and where before you may have not included anyone, that was being revealed to you. And it's Pluto and it's retrograde, so it is internal. It's not like anything could have happened on the outside. It's something that you saw within yourself that you may have been embarrassed about, or you may have not wanted to see, realize that part of yourself, right? So I hope that's a better explanation. But now we have Chiron, and Chiron is retrograde yesterday. Chiron retrograde. Chiron is another big wound. This is a wound that can be healed. That's Pluto. It takes lifetimes to heal it, but that doesn't mean for you that you can't heal it in this lifetime, because this may be the actual lifetime that you heal it, right? And I think for a lot of us it is. But this is a wound that you don't heal. And I think that's a misconception that some astrologers have, right? The Chiron you don't heal. He is the wounded healer. It's through his helping and to heal others by what he knows that he relieves the pain of his wound. So you can think of it like that. Wherever Chiron sits in your chart, there's a wounding there. It is not going to be healed. It is not meant to be healed. It is meant for you to become the master almost at whatever the situation is, the issue is that keeps coming over and over and over and over, that you finally grasp, oh, well, it gets better when I do this. And then as you teach others, because you see it in them, the wound begins to relieve, the pain begins to be relieved from the wound. So it's not so tender anymore, right? So yesterday, when it went retrograde, because it's been in here since 2018. Hold on, I got notes. Hold on a second. So yeah, 2018. So the spring of 2018, and it will be in Aries till 2027, right? So we're at the 7-year mark for Chiron, and it is going back over. It is going back over the points, almost like a chapter, right? It's going to go back over the points that it helped you learn to grow with. Does that make sense? So let me break this down. Let's just say Chiron entered Aries in 2018. So in 2018, Chiron was asking us, because he entered Aries, who are you? What are you identifying as? What do you say that you are? Who do you believe that you are? Because Aries is the self, it's the identity, right? Aries is also the warrior. Aries is also one who will just charge ahead and take some risk, right? Aries is very independent. Yeah, very independent. And Aries will charge ahead and break new ground. So like pioneering, right? So when Chiron went in there, he's saying, who are you? What do you believe that you are? Like for some of us, right? And why are you doing this when you really believe this? Why are you being this way with people when you really believe this? Why are you doing that when you really should be doing this? And that's what Chiron was asking us as it transits into, as it's been transiting into Aries, in Aries. It's like, who are you? Well, let me show you when you do this, there's this wound here. So wherever that is in your chart, you could have been um, being shown why. I mean, you didn't do it that way. Or every time I do something, it gets stopped, or I end up getting hurt, or, it could be in a relationship. Like if it's in the seventh house, it's about relationships. Are you giving too much? Do you not give enough? Are you paying attention to them? Do they pay attention to you? Are you attracting those people that are unavailable? Are you attracting people that are too available? Are you attracting people that are obsessive? And this doesn't just mean in romance, it means in any relationship, right? Do you have parents that, are on top of you all the time trying to figure out what you're doing, da, 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 or do you have parents that neglected you, right? That's the wound. Those are the types of wound. That's just the seventh house. In the first house, it would be like, who am I? Have I gotten to be who I really wanted to? Because, where I came from, we had no resources. I was told to be quiet. There was a smarter sibling, whatever. All right. Second house, I'll go through the house in a minute. But this is what Chiron in this house has been doing, in this sign, in Aries. Who are you? Right? Same. But honestly, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's the whole story. Same thing here. What do you believe? Who are you? What do you believe? Who are you? What do you believe? Right? Aries, Chiron's asking, who are you? And Pisces, Neptune, Saturn asking, what do you believe? Right? That makes sense. And we're moving into the North Node. So this means we're trying to find, no, we were meant to find who we really are, who we're going to be here, right? Because everything that went through this North Node, the North Node means where we want to go, where we want to be, what we're trying to discover, what we're trying to evolve. All that makes sense? I'm just trying to put it all together. I can tell you a lot of this I've channeled, so I'm probably getting back into that space again. So I can sort of go off and then forget that I'm even talking to you guys. So Chiron has gone retrograde. He went retrograde yesterday, and he will be retrograde until December 29th, because that's a long time. So he's going to have us like every other planet right now. So not only are we having to figure out what we believe in and where we're going, Pluto, with the group and how we're going to be doing things differently, Pluto and Aquarius, but what we believe and how we want to do it, which is Saturn and Neptune and Pisces. But who are we? How do we want to be in this world? What do we want to identify as in this world? What do we want? Right? That's Chiron. What is it that every time that I try to do something for myself, like this is an example. As an Aries, I try to do something for myself, and when I do, I get hurt. Somebody betrays me, or somebody lies to me, or somebody takes something from me, or somebody, like, that's a scenario. That's just an example of how it can come out, right? And so depending on where Aries is in your chart right now will depend on what type, what you're trying to identify yourself as in that area of life. Does that make sense? And you'll be going back over that. This is not something new. This is something you've been working on since 2018, right? Your life has probably changed a lot because of it. You probably no longer give too much, or you probably give more than you used to give, or you're probably a little bit more balanced in it, right? This is just one of the chapters before it ends in 2027. But this is a really deep, specific one. So, and the reason that this one is so important is because where it went retrograde with the moon, how do I feel? How am I perceiving things? What am I'm just checking in with myself, right? The reason it's going to go direct right here at 19 degrees, right? It's going to go in December, it's going to go direct at 19 degrees. The reason that it's so important, and this is really interesting because there's another thing I got to show you guys. The 19th degree is where we had the eclipse. And remember what the eclipse was. It's a portal. It was our evolution. It was us moving through a different space. It was us moving through the space that we're in now. That's the 19 degrees. So with Chiron going back here, he's saying, what did you change? Are you being authentic in this area of your life? Have you become the warrior in this area of your life? It's just been a little bit, just been from 19 to 23 degrees, right? So how have you seen it? Have you worked with this wound? Have you worked with these people that you've realized, okay, I'm going to keep them in my life, depending on what house, right? I'm going to keep them in my life, but I've got to, I'm reevaluating. But it's important because it's the spot when it turns direct, you're going to come to a lot of clarity because that's where the North Node, that's where we had the eclipses at the 19th degree of Aries. So that's activating, and it's funny that the moon was there. So it's how you were feeling yesterday and today. Like, how are you feeling about this area of life, which was the same area of the way that we had to move through to the newer space? Does that make sense to you guys? Am I being independent? Am I saying what I really want? Am I being the warrior in this? Am I doing it way differently, probably, than the rest of my family and my friends and my whatever? Because that is Aries. Am I being the warrior in this and pioneering? Am I being independent enough? Am I leaning too much? Like, that's the Chiron in Aries. It's trying to teach us who are you. It's almost like Saturn, where Saturn is like testing you. It's Chiron as well, but you get a wound with that. And again, that wound is not going to heal. That wound is it's a wound that you have to work with, and as you work with it, the pain will lessen. Okay,